ones, this is Miss Gigi coming at you again with another juicy episode. Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about arguments in a relationship. Um, I never had anyone to tell me this growing up. I wish I had someone to sit me down and talk to me and say, "Hey, Gigi, you are gonna be out here dating. You're 18, and this is the things you need to learn how to effectively communicate with your man in a relationship." Let's get straight into it. I wish I had that growing. I did. I wish I had that growing up, but I didn't. I didn't have nobody to tell me this. So, and I really didn't have a good enough relationship with my mother. And I didn't see. I didn't have a positive example of how to properly communicate with your man in a non-toxic manner. There were my mother and my father, they hurled insults at each other. So, that is what I know. I know what not to do. I know what I do not want, but I never knew how to address what I did want in a healthy, effective manner. And so when it comes to if a guy, I just knew that if a guy did something that I did not like, I snap on him, and I dive right in. I dive right on him. That is not what you. That is not how it's supposed to start off. When you start off in a new relationship, you're supposed to establish your boundaries and your standards. You're supposed to discuss this up front going forward. This is my boundaries. I do not like, you cannot treat me this way. I will not accept it. My standards are ways I require for you to treat me. And deal breakers, these will be enforced if you do not abide by and respect what I'm asking you. And standards and boundaries goes both ways, and deal breakers goes both ways, and you have to have respect for his as well as he has respect for you. That is called selfless love. So when you argue with your lover, it's energy. And so when communicating your boundaries and your standards, you have to do so in a loving, effective manner that makes it clear for them to understand you. Create intimate moments with your spouse and communicate your boundaries and your standards through his love language. And you have to know how a person can be effective. How can you talk to a person that will make them understand you better? You have to be mindful of ways to make sure that you're driving this point home in the back of their mind so something will click so they can properly understand. Do not use language that will make it difficult for your partner to understand your needs. Communicate them clearly and effectively, and which can make the conversation go more smoothly. That will facilitate a deeper connection and make things a lot easier when opening up in a healthy manner to your partner, so they could trust you when I'm not having a good day at work, when something bad happens to me, when I need a shoulder to lean on, when I need someone to cry my eyes out, and I need you to just hold me. That will make you more approachable in a relationship. You need to create a safe space for conversation for you and your partner to open up and talk and not hurl insults. When you hurl insults at your partner, the person that you say you love, you hurt their feelings. And you break down their confidence and your self-esteem. The Bible says, do unto others as you have others do unto you. That's very toxic and that's very negative. And if you really are upset and you're angry, the best thing to do is just walk away and calm down for a second and then come back and revisit the conversation, starting with addressing your boundaries and enforcing standards. As time goes on in intimate relationships, we get to know each other. And so it's like you can almost read each other's thoughts, and you begin to take one another for granted almost by accident. Sometimes it's intentional, but they didn't really mean to do that in the beginning. It's really harmless. And so a little prompting is needed to guide your relationship back on the right track. So, specify what you want more of when your partner comes home at the end of the day, or when you want to start your morning off right with your partner. Example, I like for us to start each morning with prayer before we leave the house. This will really jumpstart our day, set a positive impact for the start of the day for both of us. And then after work, when you come home, we can both go to the gym together. So please do not go out for a beer with the guys. Check in with me to see if I do have other plans. Even if I say no, still show consideration for my time and for my feelings. And during this time, you restate your boundaries. And he restate his boundaries. Like, I will not accept mental and emotional abuse of any kind. Do not insult me. Do not call me names. Do not make me feel small. Do not invalidate my feelings. Please do not excessively drink. I don't like this way it smells. It comes out of your pores. It's disgusting. I don't like that. Do not smoke, because I was I had this bad habit for 18 years. I don't want to, I don't want that. I don't like the way it smells anymore. It smells really, it's unbearable at this point to me. I will not tolerate drug abuse of any kind, because drug slows down your mind and it decreases your IQ, and you don't really get up and go to work, and then you dissipate the money, the assets, and it makes you easily aggressive and agitated. And then, that money could be better spent on savings or investments for the future. But when you are communicating this to your partner, watch your delivery, your tone. State how you feel in a loving manner, but be firm and direct. So, it takes 21 days to master a new habit. So, if you practice this routine conversation enough, this will be second nature in how you communicate with your spouse. And then, give your spouse compliments often to build up his self-esteem and make him feel good throughout the, relationship. Make them feel good about themselves. And when they do something good for you, say thank you. It makes that man want to do more for you. Or your lady, makes her want to do more for you. So you have to be mindful also of outside distractions from friends and family members. They try to deviate you from your routine, and you both mutually agreed upon by you and your wife or your spouse. You both had this conversation, and girls say, let's go out for mimosas. And it's like, oh, me and my husband, we decided that after work, we got plans. We have to, we're going for lunch. It's like, nah, just don't call in and check in here. Come on over here with us. And then the guys will be like, nah, just come on. Let's meet me down at the bar for a beer. It's fine. And then when you get home, it's like, you did not respect my standards. And my boundaries was, you will not ignore me, my emotional needs. So misery loves company, and people do stuff like this to start an argument because they have the power to. And so you have to make sure that people do not get you off your square. And when it comes time to establishing time, quality, especially when it comes to quality time with your spouse, quality time is essential. But do not let anyone interfere with that time, because they want time with you. Everything is in its place. And so that time I have to hang out with you or be with you is time I have to discuss with my spouse. And then we'll see, because this is how you save a relationship, by being considerate of your partner's thoughts or feelings. So being in a relationship is a two-way street. Both of you are individuals, and you have different set of boundaries and standards that must be addressed to make the relationship healthy, especially when addressing quality time. Date night, trip to the museum with the kids, birthday dinner, a birthday cruise. You must have romantic evenings This is all a part of growing to know each other, meeting the needs of each spouse. Now, as the relationship progresses, both of your needs might change, or one of your spouse's needs might change. So, like, for example, whereas your business wasn't as busy as one before, so you can FaceTime and talk a little bit more. So, so the quality of time of, being on the phone with your spouse is you don't, it's reduced, but then lunchtime is more enforced, and it's more in that area. So the burden shifts on where you need to spend more quality time in what area of relationship. And you have to, address the needs and have respect and show consideration for the changing needs of your spouse in the relationship. And it's unfortunate that certain people can be rebellious when dating or in a relationship. They can say, I'm going to see what'll happen if I don't. What'll happen if I just, will you enforce your boundaries? Which is very toxic, and this creates drama. And what happened if I break curfew? Okay, she know I get home from at work. I clock out every day at 5. I'm gonna see what happened when I come home at 7. I'm going out to drink and smoke just to see how she's gonna act, knowing full well you're gonna be upset. When you smell the alcohol on her breath, and you can smell the cigarette smoke in their clothes, they do that just to test you, because this brings some form of satisfaction to rebellious people. And if your spouse keeps doing this, disrespecting your boundaries, it might be time to address, is this relationship healthy? Is the landscape of this relationship getting to a point that is so toxic that we cannot reach a happy medium, that ending the relationship might be an option? Because we're at this juncture, and it's just, and when you address the red flags in a relationship, you need to be mature enough to decide and not just make empty threats. Seriously consider that, babe, is this good for you? What is the Lord saying? What is in your spirit? What is downloading in your spirit? What is your discernment? Are we really supposed to be in this relationship at this juncture? Things are really getting to the point that I'm not happy anymore. You're not happy anymore, because what you're not respecting my standards and my boundaries. And so we cannot communicate effectively to make each other feel safe. And maybe we've outgrown each other. Maybe you need to have that conversation like that, like I said. And then when you're having this conversation with your spouse, check your tone and your eye contact, and make sure that this is really okay. This is really what we need to be having a conversation about. This is how we need to be handling this situation. And then if it's hope for reconciliation, it's like you're disrespecting you're encroaching my deal breakers. And when people encroach your deal breakers, they have no respect for you. And so if you are trying to have a healthy conflict resolution or arguments in your relationship, approach them without arguing, having a conversation instead of argument. Is it working out for you in your relationship with your spouse? Because arguments are just it's outburst of anger. Having a conversation is stating how you feel. Meet me in the comment section and let me know how things are working out for you. Let me know what you think about this message. Let's have this conversation, Royal Ones. Thank you so much for listening to this message. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. Love, hugs, and kisses. Bye.